Hello everyone, and welcome to the second installment of the Monsters of Pillar Chase 2, where today we'll be talking about Rosemary. If you haven't seen part 1 or part 0 yet, a playlist for all the parts will be linked in the description. Anyways, without wasting any time, let's talk about the history, gameplay, and other stuff about Rosemary related to Pillar Chase 2, and also the history, like I said. I know I'm doing this intro really quickly, but out of all the characters in this game, I feel like Rosemary has probably the least to talk about. So, let's just not waste any time and get into the history of her. On December 9th, 2013, the Oculus Rift 1 would be released to the public, and about a year later, in 2014, a horror game would release on the console known as Terror Rift. And a lot of big YouTubers at the time ended up playing this game. However, as of right now, outside of those big playthroughs, not much is weirdly known about this game. From what I can tell from the gameplay and looking at the Markiplier wiki out of all things, you have to go around this maze-like map collecting 7 music sheets, and then once you collect them all, you go to a piano to play a song, and then once you do that, you'll open a secret passageway in which you'll go through this door that will let you take a look at pictures or whatever, I guess. And while you're doing this, you also have to avoid monsters, like the one that will later go on to inspire a Rosemary. If this sounds like Slender the 8 pages to you, but there's 7 instead of 8, then I don't blame you, because now saying it out loud, I feel the same exact way. Also, about the model that would go on to inspire a Rosemary, it's a model called Total Horror, available on the Unity Asset Store, and you can buy it for $17. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this from the last video, but in the last video, I talked about a Minecraft mod known as Beware the Rain, in which it was a horror mod made by the creator of Pillar Chase 2, featuring various horror characters from lesser-known pieces of media. And you should remember this from the first video if you watched it, because Vapour was in this mod, who was the first monster of the game. If you haven't known about that, go watch that video. And Rosemary was also in this mod. Unlike Vapour, though, I don't really know much about what she does. Though, according to this video I watched, it's said that she supposedly, when in the line of sight of the player, she will go after them. And Rosemary, while being based off the model, is technically her own character that Blade made up in his own way. So with that out of the way, we are on to the gameplay section, and she is okay to play as. I still recommend Vapour over her, but she's not awful to play as. Though, something that is annoying is that she does have really low stamina, only at 45. She also has 2 special moves like most characters, with her first one being Demonic Shriek, where anyone who is close to her will take damage and also go blind temporarily. And then the second move, Sightless Essence, I had to look at to find out what it did, because I had no idea what I was doing when I was using it. But pretty much what it does, it decreases the stamina of everyone else, and your stamina decrease will go down slower. And I gotta say, for Rosemary, that's pretty useful. So yeah, she's decent, not one of my all-time favorites, but I wouldn't say that you should skip out on her if you have the chance. And ladies and gentlemen, we are finally on to the last category, which is the other stuff. And by other stuff, I mean skins. Themes like RGB or Gnorpy won't be really mentioned because I've already talked about it in my Vapour video, so if you want to know more about that, go watch that video. Plus, just like with most characters, despite having cool names, most of their skins are kind of just recolors. So instead, we're just going to talk about the skins with kind of references behind them, or stuff that I found interesting. First up is the Silent skin, which is a reference to the Bubblehead Nurse from Silent Hill 2. Bloodhusk is a reference to one of the characters from another Minecraft horror mod, not made by Blade Ninja, called Deep Blood. And I do like the holiday exclusive skins like the Mummy and Gingerbread. Side note, one thing I forgot to mention earlier in this video is that in the gameplay section, she can briefly see people. I forgot to mention that, sorry. Anyways, one more thing before we close out. Remember how I mentioned that game Terror Rift earlier? Well, the map from that game did actually get into Pillar Chase 2. Each map has different objectives, and the objectives of that map is to open chests and collect music notes. kind of like in the game. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I'd also like to thank the support on my last 2 videos. I appreciate the comments and everything. I just like knowing that there are people who enjoy and like my stuff. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.